Hey folks, Rob here with another C64 play for Shmuptember, as I've coined it. This time we're looking at Alleykat, originally written by Andrew Broderick of Graftgold and published by Hewson in 1986. It's probably not one that people really appreciate. I think it's considered one of these weaker games by a lot of people, but I still have a lot of fun spots for it. So we'll start at letting you track mode run. One of the things I like is how it identifies, you just see it there just as it identifies the fact that it's a PAL C64 at 1 megahertz. This is one of the few games I know that if you run it on a C128 can actually get enhanced like this. The multiplexer throws more sprites around, so some of the enemies are longer and some of the there are more bullets on screen. So let's dive in. The basic idea is that it takes its cues as a sort of sci-fi racing game, which sounds very weird, but the idea is you have these, each month has a number of races and you need to basically complete the races to have enough money to enter the championship at the end. So here we need to select our race. So the first thing is when you select each course, it tells you there are 8 different stadiums. They've got different terrain, the fee, how much money you have, the event type. So this is a slalom, and the idea is that you get points for going through the gates obstacles. There's different events where there's ones where you need to destroy enemies, ones where you need to destroy the scenery, ones where you don't need to destroy the scenery. The next is the scape, that tells you what actual landscape is actually used. Density is how packed the level is with obstacles. And laps 5 and your prize winning. So let's pick this one. It's an easy enough start. So we launch. Controls themselves are quite straightforward, but also pretty useful. Up and down are used to control your pitch. Left and right move side to side. Fire is your fire button, but it's also your, I guess, ability button. If you hold it down and push up or back, you'll control your speed. And if you slow down, you do that nice little, roll. I guess it's not really a roll. And if you hold right and push left or right, you activate the weapons mode, which greatly decreases your speed, but at the same time, that's when you're critical, when you start flashing. At some stage, I'm going to have to show the death sequence, as it's one of the best in the game. And you go through stages, blast the enemies. You run over the E's for energy, and you run over the G's for bonus money. So in this case, we just need to keep, as we survive, we just need to make sure we keep going through as many of the gates as possible, and last the 5 laps. So it's a fairly straightforward racer. Although not racer in the conventional sense. That little tone is never good, as that's the caterpillar, which is the worst enemy in the game in terms of that one takes several hits, and that's the one that if you play on a C128, things get more hectic. And you just hear that weird tone, and that's a final lap. So in this case, the races themselves get harder. I mean, one of the things I like is that you actually do have to pick and choose. So you don't have to take a race that... And we're done. So from there, we do the speed up sequence and end the race. One of the big things about Alleykat that Broderick was aiming for was trying to get that scrolling speed up. So here's you see our kills totaled up, our bonus for completing the race, and we've got 700 credits, bonus credits. So in this case, this is a survival race, and that means that you get points for taking out enemy craft. Or we can go for a random, where it's just like you just have to survive, you get random bonus. The first few races are actually free, so that you can actually play a bit without dying. If you die in the first race, it's not immediately game over. So dodge room, that's a tough one. Slalom, high. Cool. Speed trials. There's the speed. So fast. That's a good one. Because if I lose, it's game over. So again, this is survival, which means we need to take out. So really, we should put it into combat mode. I should... That's why this track doesn't seem to be many money pickups. Oh well. As for everything else, I mean, the sound is a bit just, you know, generic kind of effects. There's nothing really special to the audio. The title theme I do like. There's some nice little tune there. I'm pretty happy with it. I quite dig the graphics. Good, you know, nice and clear. The scrolling is amazing when you get up to speed. And it's just like little scrolling. I love the attract mode. The presentation is, for a fairly early game, is one that feels kind of satisfying, because you go through, you see all the craft and their point totals. These orbiters are worth killing. Is killing the right word? Because they tend to be worth more points. And that's another race art. So basically, the races themselves get harder. I don't think I'll get there, but I'd love to see if I can do the get to the end of the season. Once you get to the end of the season, oh wow. Oh, demolition. That's good fun. Demolition track. Shadow Rock is thankfully the easiest material to shoot through. So here we just need to blast all the scenery. And that's the thing where the game gets challenging, is because if you're not careful, you get yourself into a situation where you cannot where you have to pick a race that isn't the right fit for you in order to proceed. I mean, for example, if I lose it on this race, it's game over. Because at that stage, I won't have enough money to enter another race. And that's the thing I like, you know, you're not against life, you're not against time, you've really just got to make sure you have the money to actually enter these races. Which actually, in a sense, makes for a more interesting style challenge. I mean, it's not the most... I think it's an above average game. It's not the most innovative one on the machine. But I tend to like coming back to it just because it's a fairly good action game that's a little different in its execution. And I love the little tricks. Oh, last lap, thankfully. I think we've just about wiped all the scenery out, so yeah, we'll get a nice big bonus there. The other thing that's also of interest is you actually play a two-player mode where you have to cooperate and you have a shared balance, but you each pick a race. But when you pick a race, you both take turns on it, and so if you both win, you get a lot more money out of it. But the races are also more expensive to enter as a result. Okay, random endurance, speed trial. So I like the fact that, you know, these levels get more and more complicated. So here we are, this is an endurance race, and this is a packed stadium, so we have... So really just got to be careful. I think endurance is based on time, how long you stay on the course for. I mean, obviously, going to try and just clear as much as we can to start with, so we've got a better chance of surviving. See, in some regards, this has actually been interesting, this game to see redone on today's level of tech. You know, you can imagine it being a sort of, you know, sci-fi race in the mold of Wipeout or F-Zero. Ooh, almost took the Cater out. The Cater, when you attack it, each hit reduces it by a section, so eventually you just take out enough take out its sections and it'll go down. Oh wow. Oh. If you hit them, it's insta-kill. Like, you don't just take damage, you basically explode. Oh! Now we've got to be careful. So yeah, when you get critical damage, you'll start flashing. And one of the things is, your energy actually varies depending on... Also depends on how many, I think, the energy is randomized, I should say. I can't remember. I think it's based on how you do in the previous races. So, some races you have a lot of energy, you can take quite a few hits before you'll start flashing. Others, you'll take, like few. Like in that case, that was probably a lower amount of energy. But I really think, yeah, that's really the game. You know, the last race isn't anything special. It's another just really tough race on a fairly dangerous circuit. So, I mean, how far have we got now? Can we afford? No, we can't afford the finale, so... Survival, low. Alright, let's see if... We're not that far. You can see right at the bottom there is the Alleykat finale, which is the final race of the game. Because if you win, it basically loops over and you continue, you know, right at the start with a lot more cash. So, I'm going to see if I can do the finale. So let's do this one. Another survival run. Which, I mean, as I said, I think it's the kind of game it's fun to blast away. I don't think it would have been. Oh! Oops. I guess we won't be going to the finale. I obviously hit the wall. I don't have enough money to enter races, so it's game over. And that's Alleykat. I mean, I kind of dig this for being a bit of a slightly different twist on the shooter formula. It's not the... I definitely don't rate this as one of the prime examples of the kind of game you want on the C64, but it's one that I've always found fun enough. This is one I did get off a copy of Zap back in the day, so I tend to spend quite a bit of time with it. Anyway, as always is the case, thanks for watching. If you've subscribed, thanks again for doing that. If you haven't, and you want to see more, please do subscribe. Yeah, leave a thumbs up and some comments. I look forward to bringing you some more gameplays for Shmuptember soon.